I would like to introduce Moderator is Ayako Ezaki, Training Director GSTC. Please welcome.
Do we have the clicker to move? Welcome everyone. Thanks for joining, and I think that our session is being shared. Thank you. To move forward? Okay, thank you. So for anyone who might be watching, welcome as well, and thanks for joining this session. I will start by introducing us. This is our panel. And for those of you who saw on the program and noticed Mr. Nalendra from Mark Plus Hospitality in Indonesia, which is one of our training partners for the GSTC as well, he is unfortunately not able to join us due to some health issues. So apologies for those of you who came to see him. But as I mentioned, Mark Plus is one of the training partners that GSTC has and has a lot of activities related to GSTC and sustainable tourism in and around Indonesia. So I'm sure that you will have more opportunities to learn about their work through us, as well as their activities in Indonesia. So in his place, Nia, who I'm sure you've had the chance to get to know throughout the last 2 days, from EXO Travel, has kindly agreed to join this panel and present EXO Travel's example in sustainability training for their team members, which is an example that I highly respect and share often with our training participants. So I'm really excited to have this opportunity to learn directly from Nia this really great example of sustainability training. And we also have Louis, Dr. Cheung from Hong Kong. He is also one of the trainers of the GSTC Sustainable Tourism Training Program. So I've had the chance to at least virtually work with him for a long time. And for this conference is actually the first time that we meet in person. But he has been working closely, and his organization has been working closely with the GSTC over the past few years to really work more actively in this area of professional development and training in sustainable tourism in Hong Kong and beyond. And we also have Ms. ChoCho Ma from Myanmar, who works and leads the hotel training initiatives by Swisscontact in Myanmar. And as GSTC, we've also had the pleasure and honor of working with Swisscontact over the past few years to work together to promote sustainable tourism at the destination level, as well as working more with the industry players, which Swisscontact works closely with to help promote sustainability skills. Maybe it's when I do this. And I think I forgot to introduce myself. If I haven't met you yet, my name again is Ayako Ezaki. I'm the training director for the GSTC. So I'm responsible for the GSTC Sustainable Tourism Training Program. And maybe some of you here were part of our training class before this conference. So this is what we do as GSTC. We work with experts who are based in many countries around the world to share the knowledge that we have as a global network that's managing our GSTC Sustainable Tourism Standard to help industry stakeholders better understand sustainable tourism and also to improve their practices. So we have training classes in different locations around the world across throughout the year. We also offer online programs for any of you who might be interested. So if you're interested in anything related to the GSTC Sustainable Tourism Training Program, definitely let me know. Please do contact me, and I'd be happy to share more information about it, and also perhaps discuss opportunities for us to work with you on things that are related to training. But today, we are going to, of course, talk about training and skills. But it's not about what we do as GSTC to offer training. It's not only about training, because when we talk about training in sustainable tourism, sorry, could I go back one? Yeah. I want to think about, of course, training is a useful and a practical term to describe what we do, to share knowledge and practice together what it is that sustainable, what it means to implement sustainability practices. But I want to think about training more in terms of investing in people. Because people, the people who work in tourism industry, whether it's the guys or the staff members who clean our rooms or the cooks that prepare our meals, people are the basis of our industry. We absolutely rely on having quality workforce so that our industry stays strong and can be sustainable. So when we talk about sustainable tourism and training related to sustainable tourism, we're not only talking about teaching people about sustainability. We're talking about improving skills and creating a quality workforce for our industry. So in our discussions today, of course, sustainability training, helping people understand sustainability better, is one key topic. But we also want to talk about different areas of skills that are required for tourism professionals. And this is a really important quote and concept, I think, that we all should be aware of. People are a unique source of value and competitive advantage, driving innovation, delivering quality tourism services, and supporting sustainable tourism development. So again, sustainable tourism really depends on us and the knowledge and the skills that we bring to the industry, and your team members, of course. So I also wanted to think a little bit more about why we focus on skills. At the organizational level, there's a lot of research within and outside of tourism related to, I think, the business case of training, business case of investing. And for those of you who work with teams, maybe you have staff members team members you hire, maybe this is clear, but I think when people want to work in an interesting and engaging and rewarding office work environment, sustainability, the company, the commitment to sustainability that your organization may have, that goes really well with what they're looking for. Because a lot of people, especially nowadays, maybe younger generation more so, look for fulfillment in their work. A lot of people think about work, not just jobs that they need to complete, but also as something that they want to, an opportunity for them to connect with something bigger. Maybe your tourism organization is able to provide that. And if you're so, through training perhaps, through more engagement, you are perhaps going to save money because a lot of your staff members will stay longer. So there's a really concrete, tangible benefits, I think, in people, which again, for many of you, maybe, but because we focus on tourism, that's part of a key message that we want to share. It's really not just about checking boxes and saying we've done this. It's really about long-term retention of your team members, keeping your team members happy, which, of course, is going to lead to more satisfied, happy customers who might bring you more business. This I wanted to share also a recent article that I saw related to quality workforce in tourism, because we definitely have an opportunity as tourism industry organizations to strengthen our workforce, to help our team members become more experienced, become more skilled, and that's a good thing, as we mentioned. But when we look at our industry, there's also a challenge, a problem that we face. In many areas, in many destinations or other sectors, there may be a gap of skilled workers and need for skilled workers. There may be a lack of workforce that's going to support the growing demand for tourism. So it's really important for us, for all of us, to be thinking about the health and well-being of our industry in the long term, and again, investing in people. So these are some of the things that we're going to cover today through the presentations and discussions with our panel speakers. As I mentioned in the beginning, when we say training and skills and so on, we're not just talking about, you know, these are the things that you should teach. These are the checklists that you should implement in your training programs. And of course, those are important for our tourism organizations to have quality training programs. But what are they for? Why do we train people? In the end, we're talking about quality. We're talking about quality of service that these workers are going to be able to deliver. We're talking about empowering the partners that we work with so that they're able to deliver quality experiences that we require for our customers. And we're talking about their experiences, that your customers are going to be happier because of the better quality of the services and product that you're able to provide because you invest in people. So these are the key 3 areas that we want to address today through the examples that we share from our speakers. Staff training, looking at within your organization, what can you do to empower your staff members through sustainability training and supporting their skills development. Guide training, the guides who work directly with your customers, the guests, a really important part of the front line of tourism and the quality experiences. So interpretation, the skills that these guides will bring are a key part of delivering quality, sustainable tourism experiences. So interpretation is a key area. Another area that we're going to focus on is workforce development, looking at the tourism industry as a whole and what are the perceptions of tourism careers. You know, what can we do as an industry to encourage more people to be attracted to be working in this great industry that we all love. So with that, we're going to start with Nia and her presentation on EXO Travel's example. Thanks, Nina.
Okay, I try. Thank you very much for having me back today. I was in the panel yesterday with elephants. I hope the slides are going to be okay today. I'm very happy to be in this session because it's about staff training, staff awareness, and I have to say I'm really, really proud of EXO, and I love working with our teams. They've been really amazing, and they're really supportive, and they're really engaged. So I'm very lucky in that case. I've been with EXO about 4 years now. I was working with a team here in Thailand first, and for a year I'm working now with the teams in Vietnam and Laos. I mentioned that yesterday already. Sustainability for EXO is really a core value. So this is something we take very seriously, we work really hard on, and it's been embedded within the company for a really long time already. We started to really focus on staff awareness, staff training for the beginning to avoid any sort of greenwashing and before communicating with suppliers or partners or clients even. So one of the first things we developed at EXO was our responsible travel policy with these 7... I'm not going to touch it. With these 7 commitments, and as you can see, the first one is we commit to our people. So for us, it's really, really important to work with our staff, that everyone is involved, everyone knows what sustainability is, everyone is engaged, works with us, and includes sustainability in their daily work. We started within the office. So we are currently monitoring all our use of resources. So we know exactly how much water, electricity, or paper we're using, how much non-recyclable and recyclable waste we're producing. We are monitoring it, and then, because what is monitored can be improved. So then we come up with different policies together with staff on how to improve our use of resources. We started a few years ago, we started offsetting all staff flights. Since 2018, we're doing it for all flights, also for clients, automatically offset with a partnership with Nexus. We also have a sustainable purchasing policy in the office. So whenever our sales staff, for example, they have to buy gifts for clients, we have a list of responsible gifts they can purchase from social enterprises or which are environmentally friendly. We also changed all our cleaning products to actually vinegar, baking soda, and essential oils instead of the chemical stuff. Just first of all, it's better for the environment, and it's better for our maids, right? Because they're handling that stuff every day. In each of our destinations, we also have a sustainability team, because we really appreciate the ideas of our staff. We really want to engage them, so we have regular meetings with them to discuss what we can do to become more responsible. We have, I would say, on a monthly basis, we have games going on, campaigns, projects, initiatives through our online platform or in the office, and everyone is really engaged and knows what's going on. We then, on the other hand, we do have to have these training sessions where we really sit in a meeting room and talk about sustainability issues with tour guides, drivers, staff, and I remember, like, from the CEO down to the maid, everyone has joined these trainings, so it's really, really important for us. But at the same time, we're trying to make it as fun as possible, or we invite guest speakers or experts on certain topics. So I want to share a few proper examples with you, what we've been doing. We realized, like, within the group, we operate 10 destinations. It's useful to have a bit of a global idea what's going on also in the other offices. We started 2018, was at EXO, it was the year of wildlife and biodiversity. So lots of initiatives and projects and games on throughout the whole year, focusing on that topic. So for example, we planted an EXO community forest in Vietnam with over 500 trees. We did something similar in Bali. We joined the World Cleanup Day in many of our destinations. We collect waste, we measure the waste, and then we compare with the other destinations as well. Another initiative was the Last Straw Challenge. So we asked our staff to take a pledge to say no to all plastic straws. In return, they got a nice glass straw with a nice little pouch. And then we asked them to record their experience, to feedback back to us how difficult it is or how good it's going. 2019 is going to be the year of EXO Loves Community. So we're going to have lots of games and projects and initiatives going on about community, how we can support communities, how we can work with communities. 2018, we also started, it was the first year that we had a staff satisfaction survey. So it was really important for us to find out what does staff like, what does staff appreciate, but also how can we improve. We then implemented a few new HR policies to really increase staff satisfaction. And we had feedback, and we're making some great progress, I would say. And this staff satisfaction is going to be repeated on an annual basis. This year was also really excited and really, I'm a big fan. We had, for the first time, I think you all have, like, the best employee in your company. Yeah? So this year we have the best employee, but we also have the most responsible employee. So all staff could nominate their team members or their colleagues and explain to us why they're the most responsible staff. And we had some, great staff being awarded and recognized. So in Cambodia, it was somebody from our operations team. In Vietnam, it was our IT manager. And we really appreciate their efforts and their work. We also started now to include sustainability in all our KPIs and all our job descriptions. And what we have reached now, and this is what I'm really proud of, is that actually staff are taking home what they've learned and they bring it into their own communities or in their families. So we have, for example, in Laos, 2 of our staff, we had developed a little comic book which is called Don't Waste Your Waste. It's about waste reduction. And we had these 2 girls going into their home community, delivering 200 of these comics to the high school and giving them a workshop about sustainability, environmental protection, but also drug abuse and the importance of education. In general, we have, so now we are Travel Life certified in 6 destinations, 2 more to follow soon. This year we won the TG Award for most responsible travel company. We were the first child safe certified travel company in Asia. And so really, really proud. So we've got a great team behind us, and we couldn't have done it without the staff, really. I want to show a video. I'm a bit adventurous now. I'm not sure if, yeah.
I decided to sleep 1,825 landings for years. How about you? Scare me! It's bamboo straw!
So yeah, this was done by the team, and basically all we did is we asked them who wants to make a video. We gave them the camera, let them design the script, and let them film it, and this is what they came up with. So really, really proud. This video is already 2 years old, I think, but you can see it's all made by staff, and they're really engaged and really excited to be part of the sustainability team and to really push for sustainability within the tourism industry. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. So one of the things that I've had, because I've had the opportunity to learn about EXO's example before, and one of the things that I've always been really impressed about, and I think that it's a good, important lesson for everyone, is to make it fun. And I think maybe on the first day, Randy mentioned this related to visitor management, behavior management, and so on as well. If our visitors are not going to care, our sustainability message is not going to mean anything in the end. So I think, again, this is a really great example and an important lesson for all of us about how do we actually communicate about what we want our staff to understand. And one really important solution to that is to make it fun and engaging with games and so on. So thank you again. Next up, we have Dr. Louis Cheung, who's going to share with us an example related to guide training and interpretation skills. Louis?
Okay, thank you very much. Very happy to be here to introduce one of my research projects. I need to press, right? All right then. Okay, this is actually my research project because a little bit background of myself. Actually, I'm working at a university. I'm a geographer, tourism geographer. My research is focused on protected area visitor management and also ecotourism. So that's why the focus of my research and publication actually all relate to protected area, nature-based tourism, interpretation, how interpretation will be able to help the behavior change or behavior intentions change of the visitor. So this is one of the research projects. The background of this research project is actually nowadays not only mainland China, but also somewhere anywhere in the world. Actually, they promote heavily ecotourism because they believe that ecotourism is kind of the sustainable way and make use of natural resources of their country, all right, for promoting tourism. And also, many research actually believe that there's a well-organized ecotourism can contribute to the conservation of the natural area of wildlife and also generate tourism money for their country, for their cities, and so on and so forth. And however, some of the ecotourism research project actually, we can say that it's kind of a greenwash, okay? Making use of common resources in order to earning money, but it doesn't really care about the resources, deteriorations or damage. And dolphin watching is one of the very popular activities in Hong Kong, right? Surprise, right? Because many people believe that Hong Kong is the cities. If you visit Hong Kong, city break, okay, clubbing, drinking, eating, shopping. But actually, in Hong Kong, we've got 40% of the land actually designated as a protected area, all right? And also, we've got that interesting Chinese white dolphin, and we got only two marine mammals. One is the Chinese white dolphin, and actually, it's in Hong Kong. This is one of the major nature-based tourism and ecotourism in our Hong Kong area that many people joining the eco tour to visiting those dolphins, right? But of course, you can, if you notice that there's a massive development in Hong Kong. For example, the third runway of the Hong Kong airport actually deteriorating the habitat of Chinese white dolphin. Apart from the development, actually, inappropriate practice of dolphin watching actually cause damage to the dolphin. This is one of the examples of the dolphin. So you can see that actually the tail actually nearly being cut into two, right? Because of what? Because of the propeller of the dolphin watching bow actually cut those dolphins. And because of that, eventually these dolphins die. Of course. And because of that, and World Wide Fund Hong Kong actually approaching me because they know me working on the visitor management, visitor behavior, visitor impact, and approaching me to work on a research project because they wanted to have a kind of training. Why this happened is because in that small island in Hong Kong, there are 4 boat suppliers. Actually, they are using a small boat to dolphin watching. They just got the pilot and driving the boat across the sea to trace the dolphin, okay, without any interpreter on the boat. Therefore, World Wide Funds approaching me that they wanted to develop a training program, all right, to train a group of tertiary education students to become interpreters on the boat. And on the one hand, they wanted to give knowledge regarding to the ecosystem of the dolphin and also the habitat destruction and so on and so forth to the visitor. And on the other hand, train the interpreters on the boat, they can control the behavior of the captain that asking them not tracing the dolphin. So they wanted to use this kind of a method in order to controlling the misbehaviors of those dolphin watching tour. So we come up with a project and helping them to evaluate whether the the program is successful in terms of whether the interpreter on the board during interpretation will be able to successfully enhance the knowledge, behavior, intention, satisfaction, and also the revisit rate of the visitor. Because we are talking about in tourism industry, we don't really want to see a visitor to visit your companies, join your tour only one time, right? So you want them to revisit you. That's why the satisfaction of themselves to joining your tour is really important to trigger them, whether they wanted to recommending your companies to their friends through word of mouth, and also they themselves to revisit your companies to join other ecotourism program. So that's why we try to collect some data from the project, and then eventually doing kind of evaluation, see whether there's an effective, right? So this is interpretative dolphin watching tour. So you can see that they are incorporate those university students after training and on the boat to doing a kind of interpretations to the dolphin watching participant, and also at the same time they controlling the behavior of the captain of the boat, right? So in the periods we spend, all right, we try to investigate how effective our interpretation training, and also investigate effective interpretation dolphin watching towards improve participant knowledge and environmentally friendly behavior, satisfaction, and also their revisit intention. All right, we did an on-site questionnaire survey for about 1 year, and then we surveyed two groups of participants. One group of participants, actually, they participated dolphin watching tour. They just joined the tour without interpretative services, all right? And the other group of people that we are surveying is they joined the tour with interpretation services. And then we try to see how the difference between those two groups. And altogether, we received over 500 valid questionnaire sample, and which 320 were from non-interpretative tour, and 228 were from an interpreted tour. And all right, this is our theoretical models that we wanted to investigate. So we wanted to see the difference of environmental knowledge between these two groups, environmental responsible behavior intention between two groups, satisfaction between two groups, and also the revisit intention between these two groups. So we make of course, we have to do a lot of statistics to test the validity, the significance, and so on and so forth. I'm not going to here to show those statistics and come up with the result. All right, this is a summary of our result. Because when we are publishing in academic journals, usually now the academic journal needs us to produce a graphical abstract. This is my graphical abstract of my published paper. So the result is knowledge from the interpreted group is higher, significantly higher than the non-interpreted group. ERB, ecological responsible behavior, is higher than the other group. Satisfaction higher than the other group, and also revisit intention is higher than the other group, right? So this is the result that we got, and we try to use the results to make our policy implications to the Hong Kong government. That first, ecotourism operation in Hong Kong, we should have interpreter, okay? Because not only enhancing knowledge of participants, but also you can make use of interpreters to control the misbehavior of the group of participants, particularly in those ecologically sensitive area. The other thing is propose these interpretations activities or programs to those tourist operators because they wanted to earn money, right? That's why you provide a higher satisfaction service to your client, and then you will be able to attract them to use your service again. So this is what we come up with. Conclusion is we are using empirical research to justify that interpretative activity positive affect the knowledge, behavior, intention, satisfaction, and revisit intention of participant. And the interpretative nature-based activities will be able to nurture environmentally aware participants. This is really important because we need to nurture our tourists to become an environmentally aware participant when they are participate, no matter they are wanted to go direct or will go to hiking by themselves in a protected area. If they are environmentally aware participant, and then they will control themselves and behave themselves in a protected area, and also enhance their ecological knowledge. And that is another research actually working on that is whether they have ecological knowledge, and then they eventually they're willing to donate money to support NGO, which is doing a kind of conservation. For example, like this one, we've got a question because in other papers that asking them whether they wanted to take action to conserve, help the conservation of dolphin, and then majority of them after they interpreted activities, and then they're very willing to donate money to support the conservation of Chinese white dolphin, and also the enhancement of ecological laws that can help improve environmental responsible behaviors of participants. So this is part of my one-year research, and if you are interested to further details of research, come to me. I will send you my academic paper, and then you can read it by yourself. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Louis. As he mentioned, I asked for the purpose of this panel to cut a lot of the important academic background of his research because we don't have the time to cover. But if you're really interested in learning this case study, please do ask him for the extended version of this presentation. I think I'm really glad that he made a really strong business case for investing more in interpretative skills. And if anybody here is in a position to have to do this, to convince somebody at your organization that guide training is important and we need to put more effort into it, there's a really clear case. More satisfied customers, more customers that are willing to return because of the experience that they had, thanks to quality interpretative guides. So thank you again for this. Is there anyone in this room working as a guide or interpreter? 2, 3, okay. Well, we need to be better at this, as we know now that guides, interpreters, play a really important part in sustainable tourism. So hope that as GSTC, we'll be able to engage more of these people on the front line of customer interaction and education in the future. So next up, we have Mama Cho, as I learned in Myanmar. Mama is a affectionate way of like a sister. So I always call her ChoCho, Miss ChoCho, but I've learned this through one of our colleagues, Momo. Mama Cho, representing Swisscontact, and she's going to share with us her work in the area of training for hospitality workers in Myanmar. Thank you.
Mingala, I hope all of you still alive and active after long day, too intensive day, learning a lot of information, yeah? So please keep still alive and interactive. If you have any more questions to hit to the panelists, feel free to address. So I'm respecting the time and time of all the audience, so I will not deep diving into what Swisscontact globally are working in every country, but I will be mainly focusing into what my job in the development of skilled labor force in Myanmar. We've been hearing 2 days about destination, beautiful highlights, and responsible tourism, a lot, but we still have to address about the people. Private, public, and people, we focus. So mainly, my work with Swisscontact in Myanmar, I need to just go back a bit about myself. I was a teacher, government teacher, and hoteliers working abroad in Middle East about 10 years. And then right after I come back to Myanmar, the country started bombing on 2012. All of you know that. Before that, we are kind of a closed country with some issue, political issue, but suddenly 2012 is reforming start, and we all come back from the overseas and bring all the exposure, what are the developing countries are doing in terms of tourism. So we learned that, and we have a group of passionate people who have gained much more knowledge around the world, around the globe, and back to country and willing to share their experiences and knowledge. So we are working with Swisscontact as a developing project in the country. So we learned that TVET is crucial. So even the lady, she said, not only the academic education, but also we always have to focus on TVET, training vocational education. So our working for Myanmar is mainly focusing to the vocational educations, and our program are full flagship program and inclusive market, especially gender equality and social inclusion involving all the disadvantaged youth, disadvantaged people into the program to develop their career prospect. So Swisscontact Worldwide has many approaches in the tourism development. Part of this skill development also very important for us. So we are present in many regions and many countries. So far we are present in 36 countries. But in tourism, we have 16 countries around this area. You might see in Myanmar, we are focusing into the skills development program. So what is my job here in Swisscontact in Myanmar is developing skilled workforce in tourism. Swisscontact Myanmar itself has many components, mainly focusing on the vocational. So I'm in charge of the hospitality training. We also have other vocational training program around Myanmar. And also we introduce the way from Switzerland and German and European approach of dual education. So this approach, we introduce it into the hospitality sector as well. And also we're working and supporting to the government sectors, policy and stakeholder engagement. But in hospitality training, what we do is, so right after coming back from the 2012, we really need a skilled workforce. Country bombing, but we try to talk with the hoteliers and the private sectors that certainly country reform, but we are not ready yet to accept the tourism arrival or tourism skill quality. So we learned that there is beautiful highlights to Myanmar. We have a beautiful coastal beach area. They're here and that. Our marketing people are promoting a lot. But when you are staying in the hotel that you will receive, there is a disaster service, and people forget to smile. You know, the nature of Myanmar people is somehow like they are ashamed to talk to the people. They don't smile. So actually, hospitality is DNA of Myanmar people. Actually, they have, but they don't know how to show up and how to greet, how to smile. So we always pushing them, our students, that, okay, smile is no cost for you. So from the beginning and foundations, we always have to address this kind of service quality. So you have a beautiful infrastructure, luxurious hotels are built. There are many hotels in the pipeline in bigger cities and tourism hubs, but when you stay in the hotel and you don't want to come back next time, you will not recommend it to your colleagues to stay in this hotel because service is disaster. And the people are not smiling, they are not up to the quality. So we think this is crucial. We have to start right now from today. And so we started this program doing the cascading model training. We bring Swiss hospitality into Myanmar, train the hospitality professionals, and then these hospitality professionals, we place it into the hotel, especially we're focusing on local and joint venture hotels to develop their skills, in-house skills. So we train, firstly, we train the middle management of the hotels, and then middle manager will train their line staff as well as, and then we wanted to bring the people from the disadvantaged background, having opportunities to learn and work in the hotels. So this is our ultimate target of building capacities of in-house training. Of course, there are some international chain hotel like Shangri-La, Marriott, Hilton has system are in place, but to be competitive, local-owned hotels and joint hotel have no system at all. They don't know how to train, they don't know staff retention technique. So this and that, we bring cascading model into Myanmar, training by Swiss expert to managers. Manager will train their line staff. Other way around, we will be building the capacity of our middle managers to stay in the hotel longer and to become more loyal to the hotels. Because hoteliers are saying that, no, I don't want to be like my hotel, like a training center. I train people and then they run away. They're being poached by other people. So since country reforming, the volatile market in the industry, in the hotel industry, the staff of keep moving to one another. Okay, I pay you $100 more, you come to work on my hotel. So this happening still now. It's a big issue for us. But how about training your managers, your line staff? Keep it. This is the technique of staff retention. Then they will become loyal and to work for more and to produce more quality skills labor in your hotel. So we've been addressing this to the hoteliers, our private partners hotel. So far we train like 41 Swiss graduate master trainer, and also middle manager 630. They are the key pillars of the country. The 630 of middle manager or supervisor can keep going the sustainability and keep rolling out and giving training to the new joiners or new employee. No matter they leave or they move to other hotels, because we said, better you don't train people anyway, they will leave. But better you train. Then when they leave, they have full capacity to grow up and to build their career ladders. So this is very important mindset of the hotel managers have to understand. But sometimes the private sector say, no, because people will take other hotels will take my people. I don't want to train. But make them understand training crucial for you to those and that are keeping your businesses. Firstly, they thought training is cost. But it takes time. Building trust on us, it takes really time. We've been here in Myanmar 4 years' time of implementation of this project. So slowly, gradually, they understand investing in the training, investing in the people is in return, this is the promoting of their businesses, business capacity. They understand really now. So I'm very glad that industry, private sectors understand really about the staff capacity building and building their career advancement in the future. So so far I'm glad that what we work here, and we will be working more 4 years time in the project and to develop this apprenticeship model as well as all the staff capacity, helping community, including the women at work in the management positions, because so far we learned that there are not many percentage of women working in the hotel management position or any the higher position, even in the parliament. Very rare to find because of our culture as well as some restriction and limitation. So now the country bomb up and the people educated and buildings and support to this kind of skill development workforce can make better to the country overall reforming. So I hope that my presentation is not so much for you, but if any kind of question coming out, what challenges working with the private sector, supporting to the community like an emerging country like Myanmar, just now reforming, there are a lot of challenges and bottlenecks to solve. So to reach really sustainable goal in Myanmar itself is just like an infant stage, but we try our utmost support to the country that, okay, government, private sectors, all hands in hand, we have to work together to develop the community as well as our people. So we believe that, so any question pop up or log into Swisscontact Myanmar page, or my colleague is sitting here to bring some information sheet as well. You're welcome to approach and feel free to ask. Thank you so much for being here today until now. Yeah.
Thank you, ChoCho. I think it was Richard Branson from Virgin that said, train your team members well enough so they can leave, but treat them well enough that they don't want to. Something to think about based on what we just learned from ChoCho's experience in Myanmar. And it's such an interesting example to learn about Myanmar being a unique destination in terms of tourism, where tourism is in the country. But it's such a great thing to see that there's a strong leadership focused on by Swisscontact, focused on bringing expertise and knowledge and really supporting people who would otherwise not have the opportunity to work in tourism, receive the training that they need to be able to be part of the benefits that the country is receiving through tourism. So I think we have some time. We have until 15, no? Yeah? Okay. So for some questions, I wanted to start perhaps because we just heard from Mama Cho about Myanmar's example. One of the questions that we really wanted to address was the image issue that tourism may sometimes have in some countries in terms of career opportunities. Maybe some, in some destinations that we work in, destination managers mentioned that we face this issue of local people considering tourism as a not so attractive option for them to pursue in terms of their career development. They want to go into other industries. So they want to fulfill the GSTC criteria that talks about local employment, supporting local communities through work opportunities and so on. But it's hard because they don't think tourism is attractive. So in your case, is that something that also you experience in Myanmar, or has that changed over the years since you've been working more in training people?
In the beginning, the understanding in the working in the hotels, for example, understanding in tourism is really very difficult to persuade the community, because when I was young, like 20, 22 years old, the people mindset thinking that, oh, you work in the hotel, coming back late at night. So people mindset and perception that this is really bad image working in the hotel, because it takes time to make them understand. Tourism and working in the hospitality and tourism sector is you will have a secure secure career advancement. It takes time. You need to understand. You have to go gradually, step by step. But initially, to make them the industry or to the community or parents or grandparents, it's really hard for us because at the time, people think you have to be a teacher, you have to be an office clerk or working in the government sectors only, but working in the hotels and hospitality sector are really difficult to persuade the elderly in Myanmar because of the nature and culture and belief that. But now it's gradually understand, and there are more and more demands we received to train more people in the hospitality and tourism sector, so which is great sign for us. But we always have to base and learn from these experiences and moving forward to promote our image restoration as well. But I will say Myanmar is, how to say that, we feel like a little bit we are far behind than other neighbor country even in Asia Pacific. We really need to work hard and push, strong push to the important people or to the leaders that really this industry is booming and it's really image. We can keep good image and we really have to work.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And I hope that the work that we're doing together in Myanmar is part of contributing to part of that solution. And in Hong Kong, how about you? Do you see that a lot of young people are interested in working in tourism? Is that a attractive career option?
Well, actually, regarding to the tour guides, actually people don't want to tell others I'm tour guide. Okay. You can see how low levels of the job that they think that tour guide is. But the thing is, we're introducing kind of like eco-tourism, okay? They are eco-tour guide, and then they are eco-tour interpreter. And then we empower them to educate people joining their tour. They work like a teachers in the nature-based area. And then they feel themselves, I can pass on some ecological knowledge, and also I even will be able to transform a participant into an environmentally aware participant. And then they feel much more confidence to tell some other, I'm eco guy, I'm eco interpreters. And also in terms of the salary, usually a local tour guide, you're bringing people to go sightseeing, right? Of course, they can bring them to go for shopping, and then they can get commission, right? But the thing is, eco tour guide, the salary of eco tour guides, comparing with the ordinary guides, that can be like four to 5 times higher than the local tour guide. So that's why, in terms of financially, they will be able to earn some more. For example, if you are kind of an eco tour guide, you will be able to bring some guided some tours for bird watching, right? Dolphin watching, for example, and then you can earn up to like every half-day tour, you can earn up to like 200 US half days, and that is not like really poor salary, because particularly most of these kind of eco tour guide, they work just for part-time during their weekend. This is good money during their part-time weekend, and then they will be able to earn some more money to support themselves, particularly in Hong Kong, that is a high expense city. So we're seeing the trend that originally those local tour guides, and then they participate of some of the ecotourism related training and learn something about nature, and then they will become a eco tour guide. This is kind of empowerment to the guide, so that they will be able to lift it a little bit up to their esteem in order to admit themselves as an eco tour guide.
That sounds like a really good development trend that you're creating. So thank you. As we've learned in earlier EXO's example of sustainability training, I think that this is very unique for a relatively large company to have this level of commitment in terms of engaging their team members in understanding and really helping them practice sustainability actions within their work as well as in daily lives. And this is really the ideal that we want to promote through our GSTC standard, that sustainability training, when we talk about sustainability training in GSTC criteria, we want to promote the idea that skills related to sustainability, skills related to developing and managing the sustainability system, a management system for your organization, is not just for the sustainability manager, is not just for the CSR person of your company, but we want staff at every level of your organization to understand, appreciate, and participate in implementing the sustainability management system for your company. However, I think that is rare to see actually being practiced. So my question is, what is sustainability as an area of skills, is it valued enough in the tourism industry within different organizations? And if not, which I think is the case, what can we do as an industry to promote more of the practices that EXO is implementing to really help engage team members in this area?
I think it's really important because, especially what I mentioned before, now our staff takes out what they've learned and they bring it into their home communities, they bring it into their families, they teach their kids, and this is exactly what we want, that they not just use it for their daily work, but that they actually use it in their everyday lives, right? And this is something also I noticed because I go out to see our suppliers. We do sustainability assessment to the partner hotels and excursion suppliers and transport companies. And I ask them, do you provide sustainability training on environmental protection or social issues? And it's quite rare, to be honest, within the hotels. Like some hotels which are responsible anyways, they have trainings on this issue, but it's really rare actually. And I think it has, it's really important just for everyday's life and that people really take it back home and use it and share it within their communities.
One of the tips that I've received in this area, and which like Nia described, EXO does also really well, is to make it relevant. So we talked about making it fun, of course. That's a really important way of engaging people in the discussions that you want to have about sustainable, responsible behavior, but making it relevant to their lives. So when thinking about ways of explaining why, for example, not using straws are important and so on, plastic straws are important. Unless they really make the connection that this is something that really matters to me at home or in my lives, for my community, for my family, for the future of my kids, they're not really going to, they may understand it, but not really going to understand it in a way that they're going to change their behavior and proactively be engaged. So that's another piece I think that's really important for us, all of our organizations to understand, that we need to make our sustainability messages, not just the training approaches, but sustainability messages relevant to the context of what our team members, in this case, are dealing with in their everyday lives. And it might not be always the same as what we think as priorities, because we want to provide certain training programs to them, but we also need to think about the issues that we want to discuss from the perspective of the team members. Do we have any questions for the panel that we can address in the remaining minutes?
Thank you. My name is Tina from Indonesia. I'm a guide myself, especially in ecotourism guide, and as a woman guide, it's extremely hard. Like a Mama Cho told to every one of us, that is extremely hard work as a woman to work in the tourism industry. So I'm really interested to ask, especially to Mama Cho or the other two panelists, about the women empowerment, and do you have a special training or additional training about, especially for the woman employee, to protect themselves about the woman abuse in any way. Thank you.
So in all our program, we include GSTC and social inclusion, gender equality and social inclusion. So whenever we do the activities, we involve community people to attend our training, right? So selection criteria, all these, we should have at least 50% women in the program. And prior to train them in the industry itself, industry based on the job training, whatever we said, we train them in soft skill to the women. Sometimes they are coming from remote area, they don't know how to behave, and they're really willing to learn and improve. So as a part of criteria, we always include women, and before we train them, we have a soft skill training, how to protect, how to communicate with the others, and how to behave well. And after the training also, we always thinking about to build their capacity if they would like to go back to their villages or township to work, and we always support as to build their career advancement. And even in the hotel sector, this is for my example, we encourage women staff, our female staff to enroll in the system, and also we have included all the sessions for that. Yeah.
Well, actually, it's regarding to the fairness between male and female, and in Hong Kong, we've got we got all around another way around, because I'm afraid of my wife. My wife is superior, right? So it doesn't really problems in Hong Kong, for example, because actually even eco-tour guys, we've got a lot of ladies to become eco-tour guy, and they are doing superb, and the guests like them very well. And but the thing is, how will we be able to improve these problems? And certification is one of the one of the ways to help them, because usually you see the sustainable tourism certification program that they will have some criteria or indicator which is deal with the gender equalities. And for example, they will set kind of a percentage that how much percent of the senior management should be ladies or male, and so on and so forth. So this is why we have to push and promote sustainable tourism certifications, because it would be able to help not only for the gender equalities, but also for across the whole community equalities, because sustainable tourism actually, we wanted to benefit the local community. Otherwise, like some developing country actually, when they are developing tourism, many of the tourism money leach out from their home country and somewhere else to the Western country. So that's why we need sustainable tourism. And also we encourage the business, the sustainable tourism business, to stick with the criteria or indicator of sustainable tourism, right? That would be able to help to improve this problem.
And I think we may have time for another question, if anybody has. Could you bring the microphone to this front row?
This question is for Nia. Oftentimes when we talk about sustainable tourism, honestly, let's all agree, lots of it is common sense. It's just doing the right thing, right? And telling people not to use plastic straws is not like, a Nobel Prize winning discovery. It's all common sense stuff, right? That being as it is, how difficult is it when you go and have to train your people, put the whole sustainability into an institutional framework and say, this is just more than common sense, guys. How difficult has it been in your experience in really framing it from an institutional perspective? Has it been easy? What are the challenges you faced while you did that?
Thing is, we're Travel Life certified, right? So we have the whole framework of the Travel Life criteria, which is really helpful for us to break down the whole big sustainability issue, right? Because if you just talk about sustainability, it's so broad and it's really difficult to understand, and it's very complex. But having these different criteria, talking about internal management, operations, product development, communication with clients, work with the destinations. It really helps us to break it down and then work, explain it to staff, and then work with the staff from different departments on the issues related to the Travel Life criteria. We try to make it as relatable as possible. So there might be some criteria or some issues about sustainability which might not directly affect the people in their everyday life. So we try to make it as relatable through showing movies, engaging them in activities, inviting people who are experts to really explain it to them, to make it as easy to understand as possible.
Thank you so much for the great questions. And again, to our panel for the excellent presentations. And I hope that you have been inspired by their examples and some of the new ideas that you've received probably that you could take home with and implement and start making more positive changes through investing in people and their skills in sustainable tourism. So with that, I thank you all for being part of this session, and thank you again, Mama Cho, Luis, and Nia for being part of this session.
Thank you very much for our speakers who giving us useful information. Thank you very much. And now, thank you for your participation and attention. I hope that the seminar today has offered knowledge, insight, and information which can be applied into the practical use, and see you again in farewell party. Farewell party start from 6:30 for second floor in front of this room around 6:30 p.m. And who register for full package and fix your post tour program on 2nd of March, you can confirm your name again at register point. Who register for full package but not fix your post tour program, if you want to join with us, you can tell your name to our staff at register point in front of this room. Thank you and see you again at farewell party. Thank you very much.